You there? Sir, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Sir, you may commence the meeting now.
Okay. Is it okay? Hello? Hello? I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
So let me start, huh? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, you can start. Yes, sir.
How long we have in our hand? Hello? 15 minutes, I think, huh?
Yes, sir.
So this is our mobile phone, right? One of the most important device today. Why most important? Now, it is seen that 93% of the world, or especially in India, are entering into internet through a wireless device. So it's not through a wired connection. So, and the most prominent wireless device is definitely mobile phone. So mobile, we have a two infrastructure. One is Android and another is Apple. And there is the Xcode and all these Play Stores and all. So we in one place we have an Swift and other languages, and another we have Java languages. So these are the parameters by which a mobile applications is being created. And mobile, and basically the OS of mobile is nothing but a Linux distro, and that has been customized to contain everything. Now, mobile phone. Whenever we are having a mobile phone, we are connecting this and clicking on this mobile data, our device is now connected with the mobile phone, internet. So the time the mobile device is connected with the internet, our internet service provider is providing with an IP address. So that's the beauty of the low code exchange principle. Is still relevant in today's cyber world or cyber related laws and other. And today, because of the 30 minutes or 40 minutes interactions, I'm not dealing with more on boring law. But if you want, you can go and download my applications in both in English, Hindi, and Bengali on mobile app. And there are other free sources where you can get entire Information Technology Act, our cyber law, which has been in the first time in 2000, which has been started its operations on 2021 September. And then we have the amendment in 2008 coming in the year 2009. And then till 2017 Finance Act, we have till 2017 we have a lot of amendments in Information Technology Act. And I already told you, in our cyber law, there are two types of reliefs available. One is if it's an offense, then if the victims can go to and file a complaint before the police stations. And for offenses, we have section 65 of Information Technology Act. It starts from tampering with the source code and other. 66 is providing a platform for law against hacking. And then because 66 runs on the principle of 43, which is civil in nature, and along with we have to have a criminal motive or the mens rea. There then it will be at 66. Then 66A has been struck down by a Shreya single judgment. So needless to describe on that. 66B, the theft data, if it's been found in anyone's possessions, then 66C is the identity theft. And from D, we have an equivalent in IPC. And then it can come to for different offenses, four provisions, 66E, 67, 67A, and 67B. All are coming under this obscenity. 66E started from capturing, transmitting, and publishing the private parts picture. And then coming 67, that's obscenity as a very peculiar type of thing has been defined. The porn has never been trying to define in any law, but obscenity was defined, tried to be defined since the Hicklin, long 2000 years old in the British law. And from there on, we have Satyam Shivam Sundaram's case where we have started to take the USA law, that is State versus California. And that California case, actually, we got first it takes a different view in terms of defining the obscenity, and it's going on in all. Now, obscenity, we have 67. Anybody, if transmitting or publishing any material obscene in nature, it's an offense. And aggravated two provisions are coming by way of inception of Amendment Act 2008. There is 67A and 67B, and both and the similarity between both of them is that both of them there is a material containing sexually explicit act, and whoever tried at the POCSO court, which is a session trial court, the section 28 subsection 3 of the POCSO Act. So we have these different penal provisions. We have section 70. If the government is coming with a gazette notifications to declare that any website is a prohibited website, or it can be a critical information infrastructure providing websites. In that case, if anybody access into it, then it's also a crime, and up to 10 years imprisonment there. And the biggest and the biggest quantum of offense has been given provided in 66 F, that is the cyber terrorism, and terrorism can be caused not by way of only AK-47 and other. It can be even caused by way of data, can be by way of DOS, denial of service, or any other type of online attacks which hampers or which has a direct effect on the integrity and other sovereignty of the nation. So these are different ambits where the offenses are there. And apart from offenses, there are another sector which is called the contravention. It starts from section 43, wherein if anybody accesses anybody's accounts and other devices and other without his or her permissions, which is also called the hacking in that perspective, and or trespassing in electronic mode. And in that case, if it has been done not with a criminal motive, then say 66. And if it is done with a motive of habitual and dishonest motive, then it's a crime under section 66 of Information Technology Act. So in that case also, in case of when it is not a crime, it's a tort. There's a new term called the cyber tort. And in that case, under section 46 of Information Technology Act, we have a platform called the Cyber Adjudicator, and the secretary to the Information Technology Department of a concerned state is the cyber adjudicator of that state. So one can file a complaint before the cyber adjudicator up to 5 crore rupees relief, and above 5 crore rupees relief, they can file a case before the senior division civil court of the or the original civil court jurisdiction of that jurisdictional area. So these are the two type of things actually we have. So what I was meaning to say, going to see one traceability pathway. This is a mobile phone where let's say if you go, whenever you are connected, you've been allocated with an IP address. So wherever you are going, you're moving from one point to another, you are always carrying the IP address along with you, and also the MAC address or MAC number when you are using a media access control device. And in that case, this MAC ID and this IP address are actually identifying your identity in the virtual world, and everywhere you are entering the log of that websites where you are entering into capture the IP address which has been allocated to you with respect to date and time. And this is the basic of the similarity between with the local exchange principle, that every criminal leaves a trace in the PO, and in the same happens in case of the virtual world crime or cyber crime. So we heard about URL, uniform resource locator. When you are opening something, any file or other, you always have a header, and the URL has got 3 parts. One is the protocol part, the HTTP and all this part. Then comes the domain. Say for example, Facebook accounts, you have your something. So www.http://facebook.com/something. So facebook.com is the domain and the slash something is a path. So this domain is very important. And if a lady files a complaint, he will come with some screenshot carrying the URL. And that URL is particularly uniformly locate a resource, computer resource. That's why it's called the uniform resource locator or screenshot in URL. So that URL after you study the proper study and if it is been Facebook provided or any other provider, you will have a domain name, and after the investigating agency will write the domain name provider company to provide the IP address with respect to the URL. And that company, that Facebook and other, it provides the IP address. You can put that IP into IP lookup, and you can get the name of the internet service provider, ISP. And the last thing you have to do is that you have to write a letter to the ISP, whom you have provided that IP at that point of date and time. And for that reasons, you can write in this way. You can provide a table containing the date, time, and IP already provided by the Facebook. And with respect to the table, you can ask for IP allocations or IP details or IP log and etc., which is look like the CDR and contains the connection number, the IMEI number, the different identifying data, the cell ID, which can be decoded to get the nearest tower locations. All are there. The source IP, the IP which is actually given to you, the originating IP where you are entering into. So these are actually will come up from this data, and therefore, and studying all the investigating agency starting investigation from URL ultimately land up the house of the offender, because that connections number coming from the IP log will with the number the investigating agency can request for the CAF customer application form. Whenever you are taking connections, you are filling up a form called the customer application form, where you're writing every particular details identifying yourself, and you can also provide the Aadhaar card and other thing. So from that number, the investigating agency can ultimately point out the persons who is the real offender leaving his house. And after entering his house, there are different devices out there, and the devices has to be collected and following some cautious procedures laid down by the cyber forensic studies and all, to maintain the chain of custody. So these are actually the whole lot of things, and every step has to be documented. All these, the coming and going and all these evidences, process, its roadmap, all these to be documented by you have different documents in the time of investigations or in the time of trial. Recently, in one of the case by the investigated by CID West Bengal, it's actually ended in 2018. In one of the court in West Bengal. It's the first of its kind case by CID West Bengal where conviction was awarded, and the famous facts of revenge porn was there. And if you even search today by the word revenge porn, I think you will going to get this case. And I have been the prosecutor to that case. I took 4.5 months, nearly 5 months, to complete the entire trial. And so one of the fastest case I have ever done as a prosecutor. And the allegation was that there was a lady and a man was they had a close relationship for 3 years. And one day the lady was approached by her own boyfriend, asking for taking her to different sea beach hotels and other, and for sex and other. The lady was not ready to do that, and she herself withdrawn from the relationship. And out of revenge, out of anger and other, this boyfriend was the accused person, who was actually having some lascivious pictures, videos, good videos captured when there was a good times between them, and uploaded those videos and everything through Pornhub, the one video uploading applications, and it was shared in many websites and all. And the lady tried to commit suicide twice, and that actually a very important case in West Bengal. And ultimately, the man was been convicted for a maximum period under Section 67A for 5 years imprisonment. And this is one of the important case in the sense that in that case, my argument was that even a lady in this case was actually virtually raped, and the court accepted my argument and awarded the same compensation which has actually been awarded under section 357A to a rape victim. So this is one of the interesting case. So thank you, friends. They were all my yeah, students. I think I wish you all the best in your future life. I think whenever I'll get more time, I'm going to interact you in a more way. I'll be more comfortable. I'll be in my stations in Kolkata and sitting there, and I'll have a detailed conversations and interactions opportunity with all you. And I'm ready, and I'm happy if you have any questions to ask me now, and otherwise I'll leave.
No, sir, students were requesting to ask some questions. So participants, you are requested to ask questions if you have any.
Yes, certainly, sir. I would like to know, as far as this
Can I be
Telegraphic
louder?
Act,
Hello?
yes, definitely. As far as this Telegraphic Act is concerned, as mentioned by you, sir, that no transmission of obscene content is what
Not
is
Telegraphic
mentioned in
Act, it's
this
the Information Technology Act.
information technology.
We have a Telegraphic Act. It's called Indian Telegraphs Act 1885. We have a separate act. Yes, your question?
Separate act. Yeah, so with regards to both laws, I would like to ask if no transmission of obscene content is allowed, then how private audio-visual conversations fit in such scenarios? That is
How?
my first
How?
question, sir.
How?
How private audio-visual conversations fit in such scenarios? Private audio-visual content conversations, how do fit into those laws?
What is the next question?
Yeah, next question is, sir, if as far as
So let me
cyberbullying part is
answer you the
concerned,
let me answer the first question.
yes,
I
sir.
can remember. Everything is data. Keep it in your mind, because if you go by the definitions given in different perspectives, say under heading data, informations, and all this under Information Technology Act Section 2, there are a lot of definitions under that, and combine the same with the amended definition of what is document as per Indian Evidence Act. Now the scenario is very clear. Everything is data. It may be sound, it's audio file, it can be video file, it can be a still picture, anything. It can be a text, everything is data. So all your audio video things all are standing in the same footing in terms of their status as an evidence. It's not that obscenity or a sexually explicit material always has to be a picture or a video. It can be an audio conversations. So there is no bar. In fact, my first case, conviction case in the year 2014-15, where a victim was a judge and the accused was arrested from Haryana, wherein everything was on audio file, and on in the basis of the audio file, I showed the court that there is nothing different between an audio file and a video file. All are data and to be treated in the same status and same footing in terms of law. And also,
Thank you very much, sir. My second question was related to the audio calls, as you just mentioned, the judge was the victim in such scenarios. So, if cyberbullying part is concerned, if that is considered, okay,
Hmm.
steganographic content can be used in some cases. So how strong are our Indian laws are there as far as Telegraphic Act is also concerned? And if the victim is suffering, he is being cyberbullied by one person or group of people to commit suicidal acts. So in such scenarios, how it is useful, or if there is any further improvement is needed in the act, sir.
So till date, whatever law we have, I think more than enough. But for you're going to get some videos in my channel on Bitcoin. I'm very strong against the spreading of cryptocurrencies, because I am the person who first filed our public interest litigation against the cryptocurrencies in India. And if you go and search by my name, you'll get a lot of information to that effect. But your first point, which is keeping in mind, that in case of encrypted data, in that case we have section 118 and 109 of Indian Penal Code, It has been important amendment has been included into it. In case we were doing any crime with the or concealing our identity with the help of encryption, then it's a crime. So that's your question. Now, in case of cyber bullying and other, it's not a your question is mixed question of technology and law, whether this encrypted data can at all be decrypted to put into the code, because you know encrypted data is of no use in terms of law, because the judge will not understand, the prosecutor will not going to understand, the defense will not going to understand. So the data has to be decrypted. For how the decryption will be done, you have a specific act under Information Technology Act in under section 69B, and there is a rule how the till date no rule has come how the decryption will be done. And decryption is definitely a nightmare if it's a PGP level algorithm is being used in the technology. But in case of cyberbullying, somebody committed suicide and evidence in the internet, there is always possibility that those internet evidences could come and to be admissible as a suicidal note under section 32 of Indian Evidence Act. And there is no, but it's a fantastic thing that electronic evidence, never tell a lie. In all my cases throughout the life, believe me, I do believe on the veracity and truthfulness and the sanctity of the electronic evidence, and I hold some from the morning to the night. I'm working. My working field, experimental field, is electronic evidence. And recently, one of the cheat fund case is a big case in Bengal. One of the first conviction in cheat fund case in West Bengal and Eastern India, wherein I have put the server data before the court, and that server data, inter-decoded server data. Actually, the defense was trying to make this case as a scam of 12 crore. But my server data, which I have come with the one of the witness, the entire decoded server data, it actually proved to be the scam to be of 864 crores. So you can understand the beauty and the power, the force lying with electronic evidence. So as everyone was attending my class today, I'll request you believe on electronic evidence is one of the most fantastic thing in the days to come, because people are not so much aware that what a wonderful thing we are having in our mobile phone or anything, which can even solve many complicated issues.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Anyone else who is interested in asking?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Since few days back, I heard news that WhatsApp evidence are not valid for in further investigations. Is this true?
Yes, tell me. Hello. Hello. I am audible. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Let me take your question. I understand your question. The point is, though I couldn't listen the last part, but point is now for few weeks, our news is spreading throughout the media and other that the Honorable Court in one of the civil suit, in civil case actually, where I think some telecom infrastructure company, there was a 8 crore rupees liability, and they had to prove the liability. There was an admitted text in the WhatsApp chat, and that chat was coming into the court, and the court says the WhatsApp chat may not be reliable and all. But this is one of the sporadic incidents when it's stated. And in my last murder case, I have come with the WhatsApp chat, but keep it in your mind when you are doing a trial. You cannot rely on a single layer evidences. You have to have a lot of different layer of evidences. One layer of evidence will going to corroborate the other layer of evidences. So there is no straitjacket formula that. But what the Honorable Supreme Court wanted to say that judgment, what I understood from that it can be tampered at any point of time. That safeguard has to be taken that the WhatsApp chat was not, it has never been tampered in its own in its roadmap. So for that reason, we can ask for the CDR, SDR of the both the number, that is the recipient number and the originator number, where from the WhatsApp chat is coming up. Then we can send the mobile phone of one of the persons to the forensic lab, and where from the WhatsApp chat can be extracted and presented to the court. And in those cases, I don't think, and even after the rule of 2000 Information Technology Rule 2021, I have given a detailed blog post on analyzing the Rule 2021. I request you all go and listen it. I also YouTube video on it. Even the WhatsApp was told that they have to provide the identifying informations of the WhatsApp chat within two. I am sending you doing some crime and other. The first originator I'm sending some thing to you, and maybe fake news and other. You are sharing the same to other rather than all this is going on. But I'm the first originator. In that case, the WhatsApp was told in that rule that they have to provide the identifying information of the first originator, means the IP address of the first originator. So there are a lot of other way of safeguarding the WhatsApp chat. It's not that it's totally go to the dustbin. What the Honorable Court says that only WhatsApp chat will never be, it can be tampered at any point. It's rightly said, why not? It can be tampered at any point of time. Anybody can make a PDF maker on that, isn't it? Anybody else? I think your students participating is reducing. It's now 13. Anybody else?
Anyone else who is interested in asking questions? Sir, I guess there are no more questions. Thank you, sir, for taking out time for us and spreading the knowledge among us. I am sure that it will obviously help in. Am I audible? Thank you, sir, for your valuable presence. I am sure that it will help each one of us in our coming future. Thank you. You are mute, sir.
Thank you and good night to everyone.
So same to you.